Well, hey guys, welcome back to Tracks and Tires. Today I'm just going to be looking at this old welder here. It's a Lincoln SAE 300. It's got some kind of Chevy inline 6 motor in it, probably out of a truck. Someone hooked it up at one point in time. I had it running, it was about 2 years ago. I got it fired up and ran it for quite a while. It had been sitting for probably about 10 years before that. And I recently was told that it won't start now. So my friend tried starting it and it won't start. So I'm just going to spend some time trying to figure out why it won't start. I'm guessing it could be ignition by the way he says that it seems like it's not even firing, but it sounds like it's getting fuel. So yeah, I'll check it out and see if I can get it going. So it's probably been about a month since it was even tried to be started. And I guess the first thing you should do is just verify the complaint and make sure it actually doesn't run before I try and tinker with anything. It's got the electronic fuel pump. I turn on the key. Yeah, and I can hear it run. Make sure my gas is on. Nope, the gas it's actually off right now. I'll reach in here and turn it on. And then it's also got a little bit of a fuel drain for the tank. See if anything comes out. Yep, it's got fuel. One of these, they're not marked. One's my choke. That's this one. We got full choke and throttle. Yeah, let's see if it even cranks. Yeah, won't fire. I'd say it's definitely getting fuel. I can't verify that just at this moment, but I can hear the pump pumping and it does sound like it hardens up. I'm gonna check and see if it has spark to begin with, and I'll go from there. I got a spark plug on one of the spark plug wires down here, got it right on the negative. So I'll crank it over and see if it actually is even sparking. Nope. All right, so yeah, it's gonna require further diagnostics because definitely a no spark issue. Next step, I'm gonna see if this coil is even getting power on the positive side. I got my multimeter now set up on direct current 20 volts. And the way you check it is at any point in time with your ignition on and while cranking, the positive side of your coil will have your battery source voltage on it. And the other side of it will also, unless the points are closed. And the way it works is battery voltage in energizes the coil. It comes down from this side and goes to your points. And as the rotor spins and it opens and breaks the points contact, it will ground out the electromagnetic field in the coil. When it collapses, it shoots the high voltage out, and then according to where your rotor is, it will fire the spark onto that desired plug. So as long as you have voltage here, and the voltage will be coming through, the coils are good. And then you can check and see if the points are touching and completing the circuit. So when the points are closed, it should be grounded. And when the points are open, it should not be grounded from this side. Sometimes you'll have an extra wire on the negative side of your coil. This one, in this case, goes to your tachometer to check engine RPM. So I'll check with ignition on. And I'll come down and I'll verify that I have battery source voltage on the positive side of the coil. And I do. So that'd be the same as the battery, 1141. I bet the battery will be the exact same. The battery's a little bit more. Of course, you have some resistance in your wires. So I'd say that's good. Yep, and I can check the other side. Okay, so I don't have anything on the other side of the coil. There's a possibility that the points are actually closed right now. But I'd say in this case, my coil is probably good. The way you actually check the coil is you pull these off, check ohms through the coil and see if there's continuity. Each coil would have a different spec, but according to that spec, if your coil has the right ohms in spec, it's still good. If it's open or the ohms aren't in spec, your coil's failed. So at this point, I'm saying, now that I basically know I have power here, I'm gonna pull this the cap off so I can check and see the rotor and the points. So remove 2 standard screws, and now I can pull my cap off, inspect it. You always want to check your button to make sure that it's clean and that all these are still in good condition. They seriously look brand new. I'm actually surprised. It's awesome. There's almost no spark arcing done to them. They're not worn out. So I'll look down here and I'll check out. Oh, that's actually kind of weird. If you look, the button could possibly be like deteriorating a little bit because it's left a residue on top of my rotor. So that could also affect, it's almost like a grease. That could affect the spark being able to jump across here. I'll spend some time, I'll clean that off. So I'll use some emery cloth, I'll clean this, and I'll clean just the end of the rotor here. And while you're in here, you want to look at your points. They're just right here. And you want to make sure that they are clean and they open and close as they should. If you look right here, I got your points. They open and close. The points open and close because they ride on the shaft down here. So as that spins, there's high spots and it lifts and pulls away the points. So I'll show you, I'll crank it over and we'll watch the points open and close. You see that? And they are sparking a little bit more than I'd want, but I'll clean up this area and then we'll see. I guarantee you that it will work. I bet it's got a little bit of this like residue in here. It's almost like a grease. So I bet if a little bit of brake clean, I'll clean it all off. Don't get too much brake clean because you don't want any of these parts soaked in it. But clean it all off and then I bet it will work. A little bit of brake clean. Wipe it down. Want to make sure there's no moisture or anything in here. You always want it really dry. Use some of my emery cloth and I'll get in between the points. I got everything hooked back up now. Everything's put back together and I pulled these back 3 plugs out so we can watch it while I crank, watch them spark. Well, hopefully they do. All right, so I got everything back together. Everything's buttoned up. We'll choke it, give it a couple primes, and about half throttle. We'll crank it over. All right, everyone, thanks for watching. I'm really happy that I was able to get it running and welding. It's welding really good, and it actually idled down to a pretty smooth idle. So perfect, running great. I'll see you next time. Bye.